For several years now, the possibility of new members coming to the Nintendo Switch family has made more and more noise. Two models were rumored. The Nintendo Switch Mini, which ended up releasing in September 2019 as the Nintendo Switch Lite, and the Nintendo Switch Pro, which has yet to be announced as of today. There has already been many possible additional features and improvements that have started to appear on the internet. The last one being a mini LED display, which is, from what I understood, a kind of cheaper OLED display with many of its advantages. If that made the screen look better, then hey, why not? It was also said that it would support 4K, and to be honest, I have never really found the appeal for that, and I would rather take other improvements over this one. But there are other things that need to be made better when it comes to the Switch Pro, and that's what today's video is about, so let's go. First thing that absolutely needs to be fixed is the Joy-Con drift problem. If you don't know, long story short, it's a problem with the Joy-Cons that make the joystick drift even when you don't touch it, which makes your game do whatever you wouldn't want it to do, and it can severely affect your gaming experience. Some examples of that would be the camera in Animal Crossing moving on its own, or your cart going backwards in Mario Kart. It's really a necessity to fix this problem, but they apparently did not fix it for the new Switch models or the Switch Lite, and I have little hope they would address this issue as they should. Then another problem, the Wi-Fi connection. It's awful. I don't know if it affects as many people as the Joy-Con issue, but basically, if you're a little bit too far from the source of your Wi-Fi, the connection becomes either extremely poor or non-existent. It's something that, for me, has only affected my Switch, as other devices connect as they should and have a pretty fast internet speed. And with the recent introduction of cloud gaming with Control that released recently, it will become important to improve on that very fast. And now I'm going to make a short list of issues that, while not affecting most, are an annoyance to deal with. The cartridge not being read properly by your console. Usually just restarting it fixes the issue, but I have no idea why it comes up. The Joy-Cons disconnecting from the Switch when playing in docked mode. It's never happened to me, but it sucks. The battery life. It's been improved since the release of the Switch, with the newer models sold instead, with a slightly better battery, but 3 hours is still too short. And last but not least, probably the biggest problem of all, the Switch stand. Okay, this might be quite insignificant for most of you, but hear me out on this. It can be removed way too easily. I use it from time to time and it's been making me mad more often than I would like to admit. Nintendo, please, I beg you. Now on to the more interesting upgrades, and this one is going to feel more and more of a must with every year passing by. The Switch needs to be more powerful. The next generation is here, and this console, while also being a system you can bring with you anywhere you want, is 2 generations behind when it comes to raw power. This was possible to manage with 1 generation difference, but 2 seems to be quite a different story. I can already imagine first-party games on a more powerful device, and it would benefit them greatly. A feature that was missing for no good enough reason, being able to link the Switch with Bluetooth headphones. It would be a very nice improvement, and I cannot figure out why this is not possible still. Even the PS Vita had that, and that thing was released almost a decade ago. A bigger storage capacity would also certainly be appreciated. Maybe a bigger screen, which could make playing on the go more comfortable, but it's not a necessity, as the current one is already good enough. On the other hand, something I hope not to see is the release of new exclusive games for the Pro model, as there has been with the DSi and new 3DS. I can certainly see the advantages of only having to develop for the most powerful Switch, but I think that would only make a game sell less for a very negligible benefit. And finally, I sincerely wish they would release a version along the lines of the DSi and new 3DS. That is to say, either with a new interface, new features, or new controls or something. Just like the DSi had a new home screen, cameras, and new features that were really cool. And the new 3DS had a new joystick and could read amiibos. And I think that's it. Something to make it stand out compared to the current Switch, but still remaining very similar. But I don't really see what and why they would do that. And that's about it. Overall, there is a lot of work to do to make the Pro a significant upgrade, but I don't really think that there are many things to get hyped over. It will probably just be a boost in comfort, and that's all we can be really sure about. But let me know what you expect from the Switch Pro. Just write it down in the comments below and I'll be reading them very carefully. Also, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Have a great one!
Pop